Bobby, we work together to develop these food plot blends to kind of help guys, manage their property to the fullest. And, I know one of the really key aspects to that is supplemental feeding. So kind of explain to us how supplemental feed can tie into a top-end food plot program to give those guys the fullest extent of a management plan.
Sure. It's really all about diversity. As land managers and different people come and try to develop properties for whitetail production, the more we can do to promote biodiversity in the habitat, the better off our deer are going to be. All supplemental feed does is just help elevate that nutritional plane that's being provided for those deer. And not only that, Record Rack has worked very hard to be sure that we've got the most palatable deer feed on the market. So as far as drawing deer in, pulling them in to, say you're trying to get a food plot established or trying just to hold deer on your property, these products work very well just because of how palatable they are. We've done the research, we know what's going to happen when that deer gets it in there. And that's how deer select their diet. They have that innate ability just to consume a diet that's better than what would be, if we just walked through here and grabbed an average sample of everything growing, deer being a concentrate selector will be able to pull from the top shelf. And they definitely will utilize a good supplemental feed to help them meet their genetic potential.
That's some great points. And I guess, supplemental feed could also really help fill those gaps in between food plot crops. We're going to have areas of low rain. Some people have a lot of heat where, maybe their perennial plots kind of die out for a couple of months during the year, and supplemental feed could be a really great way to kind of fill that gap where you're having some, drought issues or heat, or maybe, you just don't get in there to plant that food plot that year because it's too wet.
Yeah, that's a great point. It does take the peaks and valleys out of when we do not get the rain that we need to, because antler growth is always going to be directly tied to rainfall. So whenever we do have those lower rainfall years, we can sure take those bigger valleys out by providing supplemental feed to help level out that nutritional plane.
One thing we've really seen, a lot of times guys use their food plots as a great place to get pictures, of the deer they got. And if you've got a supplemental feed station set up just outside of a good established food plot, it's a great way to catch a lot of different deer moving from the feed to the food plot.
Definitely. You've got them so concentrated into an area when you've got a palatable product like Record Rack there, that anybody that doesn't have a trail camera on their supplemental feeding station really needs to get one. It's a cheap investment to really see what your property is producing.
Well, what about the state regulations? I know a lot of people, some places you can feed during hunting season, and some places you can't, and some places you can't feed at all.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions as far as feeder placement, what's legal. I'm hunting over an established food plot, but I want to supplementally feed too. How close can I put that in there? And the best answer is every state's different. You really need to check with your Fish and Game department to find out what's legal and what's not. So I typically recommend, if it's legal, to put them close to your established supplemental feed or your established water, just because that's where those deer are going to be more concentrated, and you're going to get better utilization of your supplemental feed. But if not, and it's not legal, then those travel corridors on a way, again, if it's legal to supplementally feed, you can only be so close to it. It's not hard to get these deer to find it and to get them established on it. So just the main thing is always check with Fish and Game before you decide to set up a permanent station.